friends. I decided to not try to sneak up on you that time. Just scare the shit out of you right out of the gate. How you doing, kids? It's Uncle Larry, back home from the road, back in his natural habitat. Oh, man. It's good to be home, friends. Good to be home. You know that feeling. I got everything organized, unpacked. What a nice feeling. Ordered some Instacart. You know that. You know that feeling. Get some burgers on the grill here in a minute. The boys are coming over in a couple hours. We're going to do some swimming. Have a good time. I had a blast on the road. Thanks for all the kind words regarding the road updates. Seems like you guys enjoyed that. Oh, I know. I'm going to get to this in a minute, but you're not seeing things. This really is what you think it is. 1980 Dean Cadillac, not an E-Lite, a real Cadillac. You know how rare these are. I think 20 ever made, with the bound headstock cattle prod and the big blocks. Factory 3 pickup, and check it out. Still has the original pickup covers in the OG case. Pretty sick, right? Pretty sick. I bought this guitar from a sweet homeschooler named Greg. Hey, Greg. Awesome to meet you. That boy knows a lot about old Deans, man. I'm telling you. I learned a lot from him. This is what I'm realizing here. Like, you know, you guys know I love these old Deans and BC Riches and Hammers and things like that. You know, Ebo and I and Jed were talking. There's like a second wave of vintage that I'm kind of new to, you know? Like, in my mind, vintage is 50s and 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But like, all these guys that grew up playing in hair bands and stuff, they're old now. And all the shit they played when they were kids is considered vintage, you know? So it's like a second wave of vintage, you know, like old Kramers and shit like that. Like stuff I never really cared about. I was always into the 50s Les Pauls and things, but I'm learning about this world. And then, you know, I've always been a fan of these Dean guitars, and I always wanted a Cadillac, but they're impossible to find. You guys probably remember I had a E-Lite that was all hacked up a while back. But this guitar is all here, man. It's all here. The guy said that when he bought it, somebody had changed the pickups and the pots, but everything else was straight. And he went and found the original pickups. After some research, he determined that the Cadillacs came with a DiMarzio PAF here, an SD2 here, and a Superstortion Zebra here. And you wouldn't know it when the covers are on. I'm going to put them back on because they're fucking rad. I just like doing that. Just looking at it like that. Maybe I'll just leave it like that. But real lightweight guitar. I mean, it looks like it'd be a boat anchor, right? But it's actually really light. Like a 7.5 pound range. Missing one knob, but guess what? I got a whole bag of these, man. Look at that. I got a few in here that are old. You can tell. Like, you know how when the old ones have... Here's how you know an old one, like from the 50s. When it's got that green shit on the bottom. See, here's what a new one looks like. Repro. Right? They're like shiny, but these old ones, they almost look like they're green on the bottom. And they look cooler too. Just the way they look is better. Imagine that. The older stuff looks cooler. Let's see. Let's find one of these that fits on here real nice. So yeah, this is kind of a little bit of a project, but it don't need much. It's in really good shape. No cracks, no breaks. Nice guitar. Yeah, that goes on there real nice. He had it strung up with 9s, which is a little too light for me, so I'm gonna put some 10s on there. But you know, it's really funny. He texted me a minute ago. That guy I bought this from and said, "You're not gonna believe this, man. The minute I sell you this guitar, a guy just today listed a bunch of really rare old Deans on Reverb. And this identical guitar, a black 1980 Dean Cadillac, came up, and it's like 15 grand the guy wants for it, which is crazy. And but it's the identical guitar. Like, after going, you know, decades without seeing one, all of a sudden I see two in one day, basically. Pretty weird. Maybe we do live in the Matrix. Maybe we do. But, you know, most of this shaped guitar you're ever going to see is the E-lights, which are, you know, a more stripped down version with dots and, you know, and way less fancy appointments, you know. But this has got a really big chunky neck, really cool. Look at that. Factory Grovers, the whole bit. Pretty awesome. So I've been just doing some research, trying to figure out, like, you know, apparently if any of you guys out there know, there's a couple of people out there that are really, 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 really into the old Deans, and they're experts on those. If any of you guys happen to be watching this show, please help me out. I have a couple questions. I know I would like to put the original pod spec in this guitar, but I'm not exactly sure what to look for. And I know these originally came with some kind of a preamp built in, which I know nothing about. So if anybody knows about that, or if I can still get that, let me know. Because I'd be interested in putting it back to its original glory, you know? Because that's what I do. What else is going on? Had a pretty uneventful bus ride home. I don't know how many of you guys out there have ever, you know, been on a tour bus for an extended period of time. It takes a little getting used to. There's this thing called condo bunks, right? Which the more upscale tour buses have. So usually, like, on the kind of shit I grew up on, like the buses, there was, when you walk in the back where the bunk beds are, there would be 3 stacked on each side, like 2 rows of 3 that would sleep like 12 people. And when you stack 3 of those bunks on top of each other, there is not much ceiling. Like, you're laying there and the fucking ceiling of your bunk is about 6 inches from your face, which freaks a lot of people out, because it's like you're in a coffin. Seriously. I remember in my old traveling days, I used to get a little weirded out by all that. Man, listen to that ring on that thing. Damn, it's a ringer. So there's condo bunks now, you know, which means like there's a lot more, only 2 stacked instead of 3. So you got a lot more ceiling space. And that's definitely an upgrade when you're in there, but they're a little harder to climb up into because they're taller. And, you know, in the middle of the night when you got to get up and go pee 4 or 5 times or whatever, it's a kind of a pain in the ass to keep jumping up and down there, climbing up into that thing. So, and then also, not to mention trying to sleep in it, which, while the bus is moving and swaying and rocking and going over potholes up north, is not easy, friends. But these are high-class problems, I think, because in the old days, I used to have to travel around in Econoline vans, like when I was in Trigger Hippie. God, I don't even know why I ever agreed to do that, but fun band, and I love those guys, but man, the way we used to travel around in a beat-up old van, oh God, I will never do that again. I may not be very rock and roll to say that, but I'm never doing that again. It sucks. You know, you gotta have a place to lay down when you're traveling. That's a fact. And here's another thing Uncle Larry never does. Never. I will never share a room on the road. You know, when you're playing like upstart bands, when everybody's broke, you gotta share rooms with another guy so they can save on hotel costs. Uncle Larry does not play that game. No fucking way. There's not enough there's just no one in the world is talented enough for me to be in a gig like that and share rooms. But you know, that's the kind of shit you do when you're a young man. You know, that's a young man's game. That kind of thing. But a couple pedals here. One of our tech guys gave me this thing. Said it's awesome. Try it out. Have you tried these? And then another friend of mine said you got to try this out. I think I played through these in the old days, but he said it's the best pedal ever made. We'll see. You ever tried one? We'll see. I got the burgers thawing out down there. Got the old pool cleaner vacuum rocking. I'm not going to be going out next weekend. My dear son Leo's got a talent show that I cannot miss. Me and him are doing a duo. I'm on guitar and he's on drums, and we've been planning it for months and months and months. And I'm gonna have to miss 3 Vince gigs for that, but I don't mind, and Vince doesn't mind either, because he knows how important family is. It trumps all that shit, you know. But it's awesome. I was glad to see my Hellcat still in the driveway when I got home. You know, I've been reading up on all these how popular that car is to be stolen, right? Because all the guy really needs is an Android phone and a dongle to get into the computer and start it, drive it off. There's a lot of them being stolen. But I'm gonna get this. There's this guy that made this rig where you can interrupt the computer system, and it fucks with a criminal. If they try to steal a car while they're in there trying to steal it, they go to start it and the door locks, and then over the stereo you hear that voice from the movie Saw, and it says, "Do you want to play a game?" That'd be amazing. I would love to see a fucking thief shit his pants when that happened. Oh, that'd be funny. See, that's the kind of shit I live for. I love stuff like that. So we're gonna do that. And you know what? That's the thing about stuff like that. If a car like that got stolen, who gives a fuck? It's all insured. Don't matter anyway. It's all insured. You know, all that stuff. That's why the good Lord invented insurance. Man, this thing's a boomer. These old Deans, man, they have such a beautiful, graceful neck. Like that 1980 Z that I have. The binding roll and the way the neck feels is so classy, man. Like 5-star hotel shit. Raise the action a little bit too. Oh man, this is sweet. Come on. All right. All right, friends. You guys have a great day. I'll show you this later. I'll plug it in and take it for a spin. You guys can hear it. Hope you have fun. Have a great Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. All right, friends. Bye-bye.